Before we begin working on our project, please turn to page 267 in your statistics book. Look at Self-Test 14-1. Notice how it gives you the years and the case numbers for each of the ectopic pregnancies. At the bottom it says construct a bar chart or column chart to represent this data. Each one of these exercises will tell you what type of chart that you should use to represent this data. Now turn back to page 265. This is the data I'm going to use to show you how to build these charts. The first thing you're going to do is open PowerPoint. You're going to see this first slide every time you open, and you're just going to make a title page. It's really easy. You just have to click to add. Whoops. Once you've completed typing everything in, click on New Slide. It'll bring up a title bar, and it'll also bring up this larger window. This is where the easy part comes in. We want to make a chart, so I'm going to pick the Insert Chart button. This is going to first bring up all the different kinds of charts that I need. In our book, we're going to represent the data shown on page 265 in a bar chart. But as you can see, if you scroll down, there's line charts and pie charts. You can make your bars horizontal, vertical is at the top, scatter diagrams, stock portfolio kind of charts. Anything you might want to play with is fine. Just make sure that you're following what it says in the exercise. Click on that. You can click on any of these if you want to make it a cylinder, if you want to make it a cone. We're just going to use a simple bar chart and say OK. This is going to bring up an Excel spreadsheet. The first thing I want you to note is this blue line right here, like a crosshair. Whatever is inside that blue line is what is going to show up on our chart. So you might have to move it if your series doesn't have 3 across or 4 down. You're going to have to move it to resize where you want your chart to go. I'm going to minimize the window so you can see how the chart is going to change as we change the numbers. Okay, we have services and we have discharges. Over here is where we're going to type in our different services. I'm just going to abbreviate. Notice over in the chart, every time I typed in a new label, it changed the chart to reflect what's inside the blue crosshairs. It automatically moved the surgery down, but be careful if it doesn't move it down on its own. You just have to grab this little corner here and you can move it in and out and up and down, whatever you need. Here it's showing us 3 different series. We're not going to have 3 different series. We're only going to have 1. The title of your series is also found in the book where it says discharges, and then I can put my numbers in. You don't need to put the totals. There doesn't need to be an extra one line for that. It's just on there in the table so you can see the totals. Now, look at your chart. It says discharges series 2, series 3. We don't have a series 2 and a series 3, but it is showing up because it's over here in the blue line. All I have to do is slide my blue line over to only include the discharges, and that's all I have. You can close this, and I'll show you how to come back to it if need be. You can close this, and it'll keep your data. Let's add a title. Hospital discharges by service. And basically, that's your general chart. There are lots of ways to make this more fancy, but if you're happy with it this way, then you can be done with the chart. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new slide. This time, what we need to do is we need to do an analysis of the hospital discharges by service chart that we just did. So what you want to do, if you're standing in front of a crowd or you're presenting this to a board of directors, you're going to want to say orthopedics had the highest number of discharges. compared to the other units. Pediatric was rather low. This could mean that the hospital down the street, who specializes in children care, took most of our patients for hospital stay. It doesn't matter what you say, but whenever you're presenting this, you always have to have an analysis. How you decide to do this in your project is completely up to you. You can type in analysis, and you can type in what I just said about children. Maybe there's a children's hospital nearby, therefore the pediatric unit is always the smallest. If you want to add some clip art and make it different, you can add a picture. Oh, look, see, there's my kids. Or you can add some clip art. And all you have to do is type in the search, and we can insert this right there. We can talk about, children and allergies. I just picked this picture at random. Okay, if you are viewing this as a review for on campus, then you do not have to do the analysis page, but for online, you must have an analysis for every chart. Okay, let's try another chart. Again, this was my analysis for the previous chart, so we're going to do new slide. Let's try a pie chart on page 237. And we're going to go to new slide. We're going to click on that insert chart. This time we're going to pick a pie chart. Let's make it 3D so we can be fancy. Move that over so you can see it. I'm going to slide this down again so you can see how this is going to change. This time we're looking at a percent and a tumor site. We don't have different quarters, we have different sites. And we're going to put in our percentages. And as you can see, our blue crosshairs are already including everything we want. So we can close this now that we've entered all our information. And there's our pie chart. Again, this is very plain. It's very standard. It is 100% fine to leave it this way. Let's title it okay. Now, if we want to change the colors, if we want to change the scheme, there's a couple different things you can do. Up here at the very top it says Chart Tools, and you can click on Design, and any of these can change your color scheme. You can pull this down, you can change it to a more black tone or something that's more 3D, kind of more contrasting. You can also change the entire format of your entire slideshow in this design, and this will also change all of your charts. If you just like a specific color theme, it'll make it very cohesive, it'll make it stand out more. So this is up to you how you want it to look. You are not going to be graded on design, but you also don't want every single one of your slides to look different. So be cognizant of how you want the design to look. The last thing I want to show you is how to change your data if you feel that your data needs to be changed, or you inputted something wrong, or once you're looking at it, you realize the numbers don't seem to be looking the way you want. Again, up here where it says Chart Tools, in Design, way over here on the left-hand side, you can change the chart type, and you can also edit your data. Those are the two buttons you're going to need if you need to fix something once your chart is made. Change chart type is going to bring up that initial window. So maybe I want to change this to a line chart, and it'll change that. Usually line charts aren't used to show percent changes. I can also edit my data here. Maybe I typed this in wrong. It should have been 32. Oh, maybe, let me try that again. I'm sorry, I didn't move it over. This can be 32, and then I can close this out, and it will have changed it. Change chart type, and I'm back to my pie chart. Don't forget to do an analysis page for each chart, okay? Don't forget that. If you have any questions, please let me know.